My name's Hamza.
What's your day job?
I'm a YouTuber.
You enjoying it?
It's awesome, yeah, it's amazing.
What's the best thing about being a YouTuber, would you say?
It's a very purposeful business.
Okay.
So I'm an educator, I make videos on self-improvement, helping men with mental health and fitness and becoming stronger.
Hamza isn't the only one making videos like the one that we just saw, where they talk about how their life is purposeful. What they do as these self-improvement influencers is a very purposeful way to be using their time. Wes Watson, a guy known basically for prison workouts and for branding himself as a prisoner and for yelling at Andrew Wilson. That's basically all people know him for, and somehow he has 500,000 subscribers. He talks about from being on the inside to now, like in the description of his channel, he talks about living a life with purpose. And when they talk to their viewers and they say, and they tell their viewers how you need to live your life, you need to put your priorities straight. And here you have your purpose. Here you have distractions. What are your distractions? Your distractions are social media. They're sleep. They're binge eating food. They're addictions. They're women, oftentimes. And what is your purpose? I have never heard a man's purpose directly defined by any of these influencers. I've looked over plenty of them. Hamza, Wes Watson, Noel Deyzel, who teaches people about fitness. Even though he's probably not fit, he's very, very big and muscular. I guarantee you I could beat him in any race. I do track and wrestling. I don't take any roids. He has openly admitted that he takes roids. I guarantee you I would beat him in any race, and I guarantee you I will outlive him. I've looked over Jack Pigot, who honestly seems to have more of a mature and measured view of these things. But even him, when he talks about finding your purpose, I still have not heard him or anyone else define what a purpose is. In older times, what was your purpose? When you lived in a village 2,000 years ago, hell, when you lived in suburbia in the 40s, what was your purpose? There are some things, it varied a little bit how people defined it, but honestly not that much. People were more culturally homogenous back then. Your purpose was found through your family. Nowadays, you don't have that. Nowadays, women are going to screw you over in the divorce courts, and kids might take you away from your online NFT selling business. So that's not really a thing with a lot of these self-improvement influencers. Your purpose came from God. That's also not as much of a thing with these influencers. I've heard a few talk about God in the context of not calling themselves a god. For like Far From Weak made a video about returning to God. But besides for him, I haven't seen it. And because, I mean, God is a boss, you know? And you can't have a boss, because having a boss makes you a beta cuck. And God is the boss of the world. So if you believe in God, then you basically admit to everyone and to yourself that you're a cuck. So you can't have that. 3, your purpose came from a job, maybe. Whether or not it was a high-paying job. There's a difference between a high-paying job, which is what most self-improvement influencers teach you how to get. They teach you how to make a lot of money very quickly. There's a difference between a high-paying job and a purposeful job. A purposeful job is one that at least I would say one that helps society. One that, like, you know, a lot of these self-improvement influencers might look down on, say, a construction worker who makes like 30-some thousand a year. He's not very rich. He's nowhere near rich. He works his ass off, and he builds the office building without which the Wi-Fi wouldn't work, and that influencer would not be able to upload their videos, and they'd be broke and on the streets, even more so broke than the construction worker. A lot of them would look down on him because he doesn't make a lot of money. But that doesn't necessarily mean that his job isn't purposeful, unless you listen to these influencers. Because what is the purpose? The purpose is the distractions. When you really look at it, what are you working towards? What are you bettering yourselves and setting your sights on when following these influencers? What do they teach you how to achieve? They teach you how to get and how to have a lot of money, a lot of cars, and especially a lot of women. They have these videos, give me 8 minutes, I'll make you 375% sexier, and all women will be thirsting for you. Besides fairly clickbaity marketing, whether or not these videos work, they actually mention among the things that hold you back from your goals is women. And I believe in that. You know, I think just sleeping around can very much so hold you back from any productive goal that you have in life. But what's your productive goal? Your productive goal is having a ton of money, having a ton of cars, so that you can show it off to your Instagram followers, and you can show it off to women, and then they will have sex with you. A lot of these influencers talk about pushing through discomfort, setting aside comfort in order to chase your goals. But this will never lead to any actual improvement of yourself. This will never lead to any actual change when the goals themselves are the comfort, when the goals themselves are having the things. Now, when the goal is simply being able to lounge around and do whatever you want all day and not have to answer to anybody. However you're mastering yourself and pushing through whatever you think you're pushing through in order to get there, if where you're trying to get is to the point that you can basically be as greedy, lustful, and immaturely rebellious as you possibly can, then you will never really make yourself a better person. An example I would give, Genghis Khan had an incredible amount of discipline and willpower and work ethic as he worked toward destroying his enemies and uniting the warring Mongol factions. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look at the history. It's very interesting. He's a very good example of not a very improved person. Definitely not a good guy, but very strong will, very disciplined. United the Mongol faction that had been warring forever and turned them into one unified fighting force that could basically take over pretty much all of Asia for a very long time. And he worked toward his goals with an incredible amount of discipline and an incredible amount of will, and it probably didn't do much to improve him as a person. Because what was he working toward? He was working toward having things, and having power, and having women. Holy crap, a lot of women. Like something like 8% of Asia or something, like all of Asia, is descended somewhere from Genghis Khan. So if it's not selling an actual purpose, so to speak, if it's not selling any real direction, like any dedication of a life besides the self, besides bettering your own position and getting all of the things that you want because me, then how come this content sells? Because me has sold for a very long time. Me is just sold to in a different way to guys who consume self-improvement content than it is sold to the general masses. Self-improvement influencers talk about the matrix. Part of that is the advertising push that pushes comfort on you. Have these potato chips, they're fine for you. Here, sit down, watch this porn, watch these trashy TV shows, take a mental health day, go to your therapy meeting, blah, blah, blah. And that's often sold through you. I would like to cite the tagline of a women-focused lotion, I think it's lotion brand? I don't even know what they sell. L'Oreal Paris. You're worth it. And this marketing works very well, especially with women, because it's you. You're like, me. It appeals to your sense of ego and greed. And how do you appeal to the sense of ego and greed of somebody who wants to feel like they're mastering themselves and overcoming that and escaping this matrix? You repackage the matrix. I don't like using that term. I don't think there's a matrix that's out to get you, but that's a subject for another video. You essentially repackage the same thing, and you say, instead of taking all your comfort now, go without now. Push through now so that you can buy an enormous amount of comfort later, so that you can live in complete luxury later. At the heart of this, I think there is not actually any significant difference between a couch potato and between a lot of self-improvement bros who listen to specifically the self-improvement influencers that teach you how to improve your business and how to improve your looks and your attractiveness and how to get rather than to create and to give. The couch potato takes their comfort now. The self-improvement bro takes their comfort now in the form of feeling superior, in the form of feeding their own ego, and their comfort later by, theoretically, often a lot of them don't really make all the money. Like Andrew Tate said, it's so easy to get rich nowadays that if you don't drive, he literally said, if you do not drive a Ferrari, you are lazy and an idiot. This is not me putting words in his mouth. You can go find these clips. But theoretically, in their minds, they think they will have a ton of comfort later. The goal has never changed. The only thing that's changed is the means. So what can be done about this? I think the only thing that can be done about this from you as somebody who's looking to improve themselves is to basically to be honest, grow up. Part of growing up is realizing that there's more that matters in the world than yourself. That there are purposes that can be found in things other than simply your own desires. It often can feed into one's ego to think, I am mastering my desires, I am mastering myself, and I am becoming better than other people. But if your goal is the same thing, you just want more of it, you're just even lustier and even greedier than they are and willing to go to greater extents to get it, then, if anything, that's in a way kind of worse. Purpose is found. I could make a whole 3-hour video on how people find purpose in life, go into the different philosophies that people have and why most of them are bull. But purpose has to be found in something that is not yourself. Purpose has to be found in some sort of pursuit that goes into and helps something bigger. And this will require you to accept that there will be people who will be higher up than you. Because at the end of the day, if your purpose is ego, and if your purpose is being the highest up in the area you're in, having no boss, taking orders from no one, being the super duper testosterone-y, McMuscled alpha sigma, yes, I know, I'm not saying, and people will say what you're telling us to be like soy boy beta cucks, throwing out all these slang jargon terms. I'm not saying not to have any self-sufficiency. I'm not saying not to be masculine in a way that's actually like a man rather than like an angry teenage boy. But if your purpose is ego, you have no purpose at all.